Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tera Banachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Radha Madhava.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva. Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya Prahlad Nrsimha. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhutakacharya Astatos Shishi Mad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Kota Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Iskcon Founder Charya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Sikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopya Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shiva Navanam Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Navidam Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi. All glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories, no glories, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Okay, yeah. Hare Krishna. So I wasn't expecting this. No one asked me to give class today, so they just asked me if I could say something about book distribution. So I've been doing books for some time, so I think I could say a few words. So we're going to read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, a verse that is very important in regard to book distribution. This is 8:7:44, if anybody is interested in following along. So I'll just stand it myself since we don't have it on the board. Tapyante lokatapena sadhavo prayasojana paramananu radhanam daddi purusas ya kilatmanaha. This is a very nice verse for inspiring book distribution. It's one of my favorites. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in activities for the welfare of others are very quickly recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 18:68-69, Yaidang padamanguyang madbhakte subhadhasyasi nacha tasmam manushesu kasya me prikritama. One who preaches the message. One who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is most dear to me. No one can excel him in satisfying me by worship. There are different kinds of welfare activities in this material world, but the supreme welfare activity is the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Other welfare activities cannot be effective, for the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. It is by destiny or the laws of karma that one must suffer or enjoy. For instance, if one is given a court order, he must accept it, whether it brings suffering or profit. Similarly, everyone is under the obligations of karma and its reactions. No one can change this. So this is a good-sized purport, so I'll just read, stop now and talk some and then maybe finish it. Om Jnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshram Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gare Namaha Mukam Kotava Chalang Pangunlang Hayate Garim Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchakalpa Tribhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When Krishna was in the forest of Vrindavan with the cowherd boys, they were feeling a little hungry. So Krishna told the cowherd boys, go to the Yajnik Brahmanas. They're doing some yajna now. They have some prasad. Ask them for prasadam. So they went and asked these Yajnik Brahmanas for some prasad. But they ignored them. And the boys were a little surprised. And they went back to Krishna and said, Krishna, we asked, but they ignored us. So Krishna said to them, it's natural. You beg, sometimes you get some result, sometimes you don't. It's like we have many book distributors here. Sometimes there's a result, sometimes there's not a result, right? We can't be disturbed. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Labante Brahma Nirvana Risik Simakamasa China Dvaitya Tadmanha Sarvabhuta Hitevrata. That one is beyond, who is beyond the dualities that arise from doubt. How much duality is there in this world? Lots of dualities. Heat and cold, honor, dishonor, success, failure. So much duality. On book distribution, there's duality. Sometimes people give a nice donation. Just like many of you probably have heard of Brigapati Prabhu. He was on book distribution just a couple weeks ago, and he was talking to one young man and for about 15 minutes, and the man gave him $5,100 donation. That's a pretty good donation. I don't know of anybody ever getting a donation that big on book distribution. That's 50,000 rupees, I think, right? Yeah, 50,000, that's a lot of rupees. So, actually, this Brigapati Prabhu, he's been distributing books for over 50 years. So Krishna is very pleased with this. You know? Now, he didn't jump up in joy, oh, Haribo, he got a big donation. No, he just, Krishna. Krishna's giving. And sometimes we get many no's on book distribution, yeah? A lot of rejection. I was given a book distribution class in Russia many years ago, and I mentioned how sometimes on book distribution we get rejection, we get no's. And one of the devotees in the audience said, I can't stand it when people say no. But actually the no's are good. The no's are good because the no's help us to be humble. It's good. No's are good. You got to get that in your mind. No's are good. Because humility is something that is difficult in the age of Kali, age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Humility is difficult. So book distribution is a blessing in disguise, because we'll get many no's and some people will say yes. That's also nice. We want a lot of people to say yes also, so they can get a book and give a donation. Labante Brahmanirvanam. So one who is free of the dualities that arise from doubt. Now this is a very interesting verse. If we have faith in Krishna, then whatever happens is good. If we have faith in Krishna, then whatever happens is good, because he has our best interest at heart. That's Krishna. He's our best friend. Prabhupada said that he wants us to go back to Godhead much more than we want to go back to Godhead. So he has our best interest at heart. He wants us to get purified. And this is another one of the blessings of book distribution, that we're going out on book distribution for the benefit of the people. They're getting an opportunity to hear about Krishna, and it's good for us. Vedyam, Pavitram, Omkaram. Krishna says, I am that who purifies. We go on book distribution and we get purified. It's a fast track of purification. So the more we engage in this activity of book distribution, the more we get free of these dualities. And we see Krishna's hand in everything. One who is free of the dualities that arise from doubt, whose mind is always engaged within, thinking of Krishna. A big part of book distribution, a major part of book distribution, is sadhana. Sadhana is so important. We have to chant good rounds. Not just good rounds, but very good rounds. And that gives impetus. When you go on book distribution, that gives impetus to chant good rounds and to hear, to read Prabhupada's books. Because you know, when you go on book distribution, you're going to be meeting a lot of different types of people. And it's not an easy service. There was one friend of mine that was talking to another person, and the other devotee asked this devotee, what kind of work do you do? What kind of service do you do? And she said, oh, I'm a book distributor. He said, oh, book distribution, very difficult. Yeah, it can be very difficult, especially in the beginning. But then, as Krishna says, that which is difficult, like poison, in the beginning, nectar in the end, which mode is that? That's the mode of goodness. So it's a little difficult in the beginning, but it becomes like nectar. I have a friend of mine in Australia, Rupa Raghunath Prabhu. Some of you may know him, very good book distributor. We were talking, and I said, you know, book distribution is so nice. I just want to go right into my 80s distributing books. And Rupa Raghunath Prabhu said, 80s? We should go right into our 90s. And Prabhupada said, if you distribute books throughout your life, I guarantee you, Lord Chaitanya will come and take you back home. So that's Prabhupada's guarantee. So, one who is free of the dualities that arise from doubt, whose mind is always engaged within, who is always busy acting for the welfare of others. Prabhupada mentioned this in the purport here. And who is free of sin is understood to be liberated. So this is the best welfare activity for society. There's so many welfare activities. There's people that are giving free food and they're building hospitals, but this is not real welfare activity. This is the best welfare activity, because when people get Srila Prabhupada's books, they understand who they are. People don't know who they are. They think that they're American or Russian or Chinese, but no, this is not who we are. We're the soul within. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it stated, Nehajat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate nitirtha parasevaya jivan api mito hisaha. That if one's work does not bring one to dharma, if one's dharma does not bring one to renunciation, and if one's renunciation does not bring one to bhakti, to devotional service, then one is considered to be dead, although breathing. So what we have throughout the world, there's a lot of people walking around, but they're not engaged in devotional service, so that means they're dead. So we're trying to bring people alive again. We were also dead, many of us. I certainly was. But then I got one of Prabhupada's books, and now I'm kind of coming alive again in devotional service. But a devotee isn't only interested in his own welfare, but he wants to help others also. Because people, as it's mentioned here, people are suffering. And this verse is very, very significant here in Mayapur. There's so much deity worship going on, and it's wonderful. I was just admiring this morning. The clothes are so beautiful. The deity worship is so wonderful. But here, this verse is saying that the best way to worship the Supreme Lord, Sri Sri Radha Madhava, is to go out and give Krishna to others. Because although they're making nice bhoga offerings for them and they're dressing nicely, what pleases Krishna the most is when we bring a soul that has been bewildered for who knows how long before them. Like before I came to the temple, I never heard of deities. Never heard of such a thing. But I got a book, and I went to the temple, and I saw the deities. And the devotees told me, this is not different than the Supreme Lord. I was like, okay. And I liked the philosophy so much that I just added on to the richness of the philosophy. And then shortly after that, I was also doing deity worship. And I was distributing books. So Krishna is very pleased by this distribution of transcendental literature. It's what is most needed. Why? Because people are infected. They're infected by Maya. So these books are disinfectants. Disinfectants. This frees them of the infection of Maya, the disease of Maya. And when we go out, also, we're getting free of this infection of Maya. So this is the best way to please Krishna. Prana, because it said, prana artha dhyavacha. He told the boys, go, get some prasad from these Brahmin, from these brahmanas. And they were rejected. But then what did Krishna say? Go to the wives. Go to the wives. They will bring you. So they went to the wives, and the wives were very enthusiastic. So enthusiastic to bring prasad to Krishna and to the cowherd boys. So we should also be very enthusiastic to give Krishna to others. It is what is most needed. This is what people are searching for. People are going to the bars and they're going out here, doing that, going to movies, and they're looking for happiness. But there's no happiness there. Happiness is in service to Krishna. Now they're serving Maya. There's no happiness there. Yeah, the people think they're going to find some happiness going to a movie. I just heard a lecture by Prabhupada. This is back in the 1930s. Prabhupada was walking down the street, and one of his friends was driving, and he pulled over and said, "Hey, Abhay, I'm going to the movies. Come, let's go to the movies." And Prabhupada said, "I'm not going to the movies." And they were good friends, so he kind of coerced him and he got him in the car. And they drove him to the movies. So the man got out and Prabhupada said, I'm not going to go in. He said, even if you give me $1,000, I'm not going to go in and see that nonsense movie. Because that's what it is. It's nonsense. And he gave the example, just like there's swans and there's crows. And the crows, they're interested in all just refuse, just garbage. But the swans, they're living in, nice lakes, beautiful places, flowers. And so a devotee is a swan. They're beautiful. Why? Because their interest is in serving Krishna. No garbage. Just Krishna. Just want Krishna. And they want to give Krishna. So prana, artha. Prabhupada said, if we can give our life for Krishna's cause, this is first class. First class. So if you want to live a first class life in Krishna consciousness, distribute books. Now, not everybody can be full-time. There's very few full-time book distributors. But at least you can do some time. Just like in Iskcon of Silicon Valley, there's weekend warriors. And some of the devotees, they're working all week and they can't wait till the weekend comes. They go out and do the real service, the real work, giving Krishna to others. Then they have the monthly Sankirtan festival. You can't go out every weekend, or maybe you go every other weekend or once a month. But everybody should do some type of book distribution. When Prabhupada was here, there was a period where everybody would go out on Saturday. We have Rameshwar Prabhu here. He can confirm this, isn't it? Every Saturday, they would go out. Everybody would go out. The Pujari would go out. He would do an artik, then he would go out and distribute books, and he'd come back and make an offering, and then go back. Everybody was going out on book distribution. And the biggest year, anybody know the biggest year where we had book distribution? The most successful year in the history of Iskcon? 1977. That was close. 1977, because Prabhupada was ill. And Prabhupada said, this book distribution gives me life. So the word got out all over Iskcon, and everybody was going out on book distribution. I mean, everybody, as much as they possibly could. And that remains, to this day, the biggest year in the history of Iskcon. Yeah. Why? Because they wanted Prabhupada to live. So much love for Srila Prabhupada. And still, all over the world, there's so much love for Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because he had so much love. He had so much love for us. And therefore he left Vrindavan. He was comfortably situated there, but he left Vrindavan. And he went to New York City. This is hellish. He went to the Bowery. Horrible. Sometimes he would go upstairs to his room and he'd see some of the bums, they've expired. They left their body. See, he was living in such an area. So much love. So the way we can show our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, the way we can show our gratefulness is to go out and give Krishna to others. And if we're not grateful, then we're great fools. We should be grateful. And this is the best way to show our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. To give what we have received. And it's so nice. This process is so nice. So nice. It's simply joyful. And Prabhupada said, but if you're not happy in Krishna consciousness, then, he said, you're doing something wrong. Because that's a natural byproduct of practicing Krishna consciousness. You'll be joyful. So prana, artha. So if you can't give your life, Krishna says, then at least give some money. We need money for books, and we need money for vans. When I was a minister of book distribution, I got so many donations from householders so that we can get vans for the book distributors, because you have to travel. Many of them have to travel long distances. So give Lakshmi for book distribution. Prana Artha Diya, to give our intelligence. Diya means intelligence. Krishna is known as Diyapati, Diyampati, the Lord of intelligence. So sometimes on book distribution, people give excuses of why they don't want to take a book. Yeah? You ever get excuses? Lots of excuses. Sometimes people, they tell me, I have no time. No time, so busy. I tell them, I'm going to tell you something that you've never heard about books. Books are patient. Books are patient. They'll wait for you. They'll wait for decades. Just put it in your shelf, and it'll wait. Tick, 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 like a time bomb. And when they finally pick it up, boom! Become devotees. Not always. Sometimes. There was one young man, he was looking for God. And he asked his mother, can you give me any guidance? I'm trying to find out something about God. She said, well, did you read the Bible? He said, yeah, I read some, but it just wasn't catching. She said, well, I have something that I got 25 years ago. Maybe this will do. It was called the Krishna book. So she gave that to him, and he was enthralled. He loved it. He loved it. And he went to the temple and became a devotee. So it was sitting there for 25 years, patiently waiting. So Krishna is very patient. So, what's another excuse? I'll tell you, I was distributing books in Australia one time. And I was going door to door. As Vaisheshika Maharaj mentioned not long ago, last week I think, that door to door, 90 times in Prabhupada's books, door to door, he's mentioned. So door to door is good. So I was going door to door in Australia, in Brisbane. And I knocked on a door. A man came to the door. He saw I had the Bhagavad Gita. He said, no, I'm not interested. I worship Satan. You all understand Satan? So I said, well, you know, this book is all about God. So you should know your enemy. He said, all right, good point. All right, I'll take one. And he gave a very nice donation. So even the atheists will take. Sometimes we are on book distribution, we meet atheists. So I tell the atheist, how much do you know? I asked them a question, how much do you know? And they, well, they're on, most of them are honest. Yeah, I don't know much. I tell them, this is how much you know. Very, very little. There's billions of things you don't know. And they accept, all right, yeah. Billions of things I don't know. So one of the things you don't know amongst those billions of things is whether there's a God or not. You don't know. And many times they'll say, yeah, actually, you're right. I don't know. So I tell them, this book will help you to understand whether there is or whether there isn't a God. So you're open-minded, right? Yeah, Muslim. Yeah, I'm open-minded. Take the book, read it, and see for yourself. And many atheists take books on that line. So something that you could use that with the atheists. Christians. Sometimes we meet Christians. No, I'm Christian. So I tell them, no. I'm not trying to change your belief. But there's always more to learn about God. Right? All right. Many Christians take books on that line. Because you take them out, they become defensive. No, I have another religion. So you take them off the defense. No. I'm not trying to change your religion. Although we are. I used to be a Christian myself. So, and there's always more to learn about God. So you take the defense, and then positive. There's always more to learn about God. God's unlimited. So okay, so they take. What's another excuse? No money. No. We already did the time. No money. Now, if someone is interested and they have no money, give them a book. What I find is when I do that, within 5 minutes, someone else gives a bigger donation and covers it. It happens every time. If you meet a nice person, they have no money, give them a book anyway. Krishna's not poor, right? Right? Krishna's pretty wealthy. It'll cover, At the end of the day, you'll see. No problem. Because it's rare to find someone that's interested, isn't it? So you finally find someone that's interested. Sorry, I don't have any money. That's all right. Keep the book. They'll appreciate it even more because the compassion. People are touched by compassion. And who's the most compassionate? Huh? Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, okay? And Srila Prabhupada. Very compassionate. And we're all here because of the compassion. The compassion of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who he brought up the whole Krishna consciousness movement again. It was practically dead. And he built it up again. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Prabhupada, if you get money, print books. So much compassion, these acharyas. So we're all here because of the compassion of the Supreme Lord and the compassion of His devotees. So we should pray for that compassion. Actually, book distribution is all about prayer. You got to pray a lot. And not just when we go out on book distribution. You got to pray to the deities before you go out on book distribution. Pray to Prabhupada before you go out. And when you get out there on book distribution, you pray, Krishna, please help me to be an instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Krishna told Arjuna, you just be an instrument. So book distribution is about being an instrument in the hands of Krishna. We got to pray like anything for His mercy. And man proposes and God disposes. We pray to Krishna and Krishna reciprocates. He wants people to get this knowledge because this is what is most needed throughout the world. Prana, artha, dhya. So we have to use our intelligence. Pray to Krishna for this intelligence to convince them to take a book. And prana, artha, dhya, vacha, our words. So it's nice. All day long on book distribution, we're using our words. Trying to convince them to take this knowledge. It is what is most needed. Throughout the world we have these universities, but it's just all nonsense. So much ignorance. But we have real knowledge. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Now devotees are distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets, Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, to people that never heard of anything about Krishna. It's like it's never happened before. It's unbelievable what's happening. So it's wonderful. I'm sure Krishna is so pleased that we are increasing book distribution in this way. So, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yaidang paramanguyang madbhaktesa bhatashyasi bhaktim mayam hram kritya mamivaisya isangsaya. That anyone who is teaching or preaching this message of Bhagavad Gita is very dear to me. And there'll never be anyone more dear to me than such a person. So when we go on book distribution, we're not only helping the people that get the books, but we're helping ourselves. Because Krishna is so pleased by this activity. So we're getting purified by this activity of book distribution. And people whom receive a book from us, they're also getting purified by this activity. Prabhupada said that if they just touch a book, then they benefit. Because the book is non-different than Krishna. It's like if a book falls on the floor, what do? We touch it to our head because it's Krishna. It's Krishna. So, when we're distributing books, we're not distributing paper and ink. We're distributing Krishna. And in one purport, Prabhupada says that the pure devotee, he is compared to gold. And Krishna is compared to a diamond. They complement each other. You put a diamond, a beautiful blue diamond, into a gold ring, very attractive. Right? So this knowledge, these books that we're distributing, it's not paper and ink, it's gold and diamonds. Krishna and Prabhupada. Yeah. So we should be very enthusiastic. We should be very enthusiastic to give this knowledge out to others. In this way, they become wealthy. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it stated, Premadana vanavyahe daridra jivan dasakare vitanamore deha premadana. If one does not have love for Krishna, one is considered to be a daridra jivan, a poor soul. Therefore, my dear Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is speaking, please give me love for you. And all I want is a salary. No, please give me your devotional service. Give me your service, and all I want as salary is love for you. This is the best salary. When we get that, then we're more wealthy than Bill Gates and all these people like this. So yes, question. I think we have a microphone. Yes? Microphone is just now coming in 10 seconds.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. An excuse, I'm not about spirituality, I'm about science.
Okay, science. So we have a book, actually one of our very popular books is called The Science of Self-Realization. And many, many devotees have come because of this science of self-realization.
Including myself.
Oh, very good. So, yeah. Anything else? Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much. Prabhuji, we have a person in Delhi who is a very wealthy man, and he had also met his Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharajji, and we just called him on the phone day before yesterday. He said he is willing to sponsor this year for us 5,000 Bhagavatam sets. So,
Haribo!
so I want to humbly request your guidance. Could you please advise what is the most effective way and meaningful way to utilize these 5,000 Bhagavatam sets, that they will be most effective way, beneficial to people? Could you please guide? It will be very valuable.
Well, I would say that if you meet someone who's very enthusiastic and interested, get their address and send them, because Bhagavatam, sometimes people get Bhagavatams and they just sit on people's shelves. You know? And many times I distribute books, and I'm talking to Hindus in America, and 95% of the Hindus I speak to, they don't read the Bhagavad Gita. It's amazing. They go by the bookshelf and they, you know. But they don't read it. So I tell them, listen, I'm an American. I'm an American. And I've read the Bhagavad Gita over 10 times. You're a Hindu. It's born on your lap. I had to search for it. Please, read the book. And many of them say, all right, I'll read it. So my suggestion is find out if they're interested. If they're very interested, then send it to them, because it's already sponsored. Yeah. Okay?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yes, in the back.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this nice, inspiring class. Like when you do book distribution or any other service, and sometimes we do not want to do it. So sometimes as an austerity, we have to do it. So how do we build this quality of austerity to serve Guru and Krishna? How to build the quality of austerity?
Very good question. Thank you. Well, again, we had to pray. Just like it's also not easy to get a taste for the name, isn't it? Sometimes it's an austerity to chant our 16 rounds because we don't have a taste. So we pray, Krishna, please give me a taste for the holy name. Similarly, we have to pray, Krishna, please give me a taste for distributing this knowledge. And another thing is if you read Prabhupada's books, then you'll be enthusiastic. Many devotees have asked me, Vijay, how is it you've been distributing so long, for so many years? You know? Now, by the mercy of Sri Radha Madhava, 48 years. So I tell devotees that it's because I read Prabhupada's books, especially Bhagavad Gita. Every day, Bhagavad Gita, I read Bhagavad Gita. It's an inspiration. Srimad Bhagavatam, every day. So if you read Prabhupada's books every day, you'll be inspired. And then it won't be difficult, because you know, I have something very valuable. I have something very nice to give to the people. It'll change their life. So if you read Prabhupada's books, you'll be inspired to distribute the books. So this is the key. Yeah. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes. Oh, okay. Who's got the microphone? All right.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Of course, we're going into the Bhajra campaign next month, starting up the Bhajra campaign or the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam sets. I was just hoping you could speak on some lines we can say to distribute a Srimad Bhagavatam set to a non-traditional on the streets.
Well, you know, this is all new to me. Distributing Srimad Bhagavatams on the streets. This is all new, so I don't have... I mean, there's devotees that have good lines. I just saw a nice YouTube clip of a devotee who's distributing Chaitanya Charitamritas. And it's very nice. He's in London.
It was me.
Is that you? Where are you? Oh, that's you. Okay. Haribo, stand up. Stand up. There he is.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki!
Isn't that funny? I just saw the video about you, and then I mentioned how there's a video of someone doing it, and it's you. That's so funny. So I'm sure you also can figure out how to also distribute Srimad Bhagavatams, because your presentation was very nice. I myself would have bought a CC by your presentation. So it was very nice. I'm sure you'll come up with some good ideas.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Anything else?
can't see me, so it's okay.
Okay, yes. Oh, Rameshwar Prabhu, yes, please.
Thank you for sharing these amazing lines. First of all, that book is patient. What a great realization that is. Thank you. So I had the opportunity some weeks ago to be invited to a Grahasta's home here in Mayapur. And these devotees, you may not know them, Sundar Vaman and Ratnavali Gopi. Anyway, they invited me to give a class, and they said, well, we have created like a young adult 20s to 30s group around India. It's like 700 people.
Wow.
I said, it's amazing. How did you? So after I gave a class, they said, we have to tell you one thing about this group. In December, this group, they're not living in temples or anything like that, distributed 50,000 Bhagavad Gitas.
Haribo!
I never would have thought, but that's what our grihastas can do, create groups and then get them inspired to give out books and so I just wanted to give them that shout out based on the enthusiasm that you have. 50,000 Bhagavad Gitas, one grihasta couple.
Wow.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, Haribo. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki? Jai.